Okay, good evening all. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the call. Please, you can tell us your name and where you're listening in from. We're about to begin in the next 2 to 3 minutes. We just wanted people to come in. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you. My name is Halima Farah. I'm from Somalia.
Okay, welcome, Halima.
Good evening. My name is Ivy Kinyanjui from Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay, Ivy, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Good evening. My name is Avery Pacific. I'm from Kigali, Rwanda.
Okay, welcome. Okay. Okay, I think I'll gradually begin because we have quite a lot to cover. Please, if you can see the screen, give us a thumbs up so that I'm sure everything is okay. You can see the screen.
Yes, the screen we can see, but could you please make a presentation mode?
Okay. I've made it bigger.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
So please do find a quiet spot, get a journal. We're going to have a very good conversation. I'm aware some of us are already, almost writing the exams. How many of us are writing in before the July 9th switchover date? Who is writing their exam before July 9th?
I'm doing mine on 27th. That's on Saturday.
Okay. Wow. It's almost here.
Yes.
Wow. I'm sure you're really, really ready. So this will just be like a revision.
Yes, this is revision.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Who else?
For me, I'm planning on 30th June.
30th. Okay, that's fine. Who else? Is anyone writing after July 9th? Okay. All right, so welcome to June's edition. We'll go writing. So a bit of introduction, we've done that. So we'll do some polls and then move into reviewing the sections that I'll be talking about. And then we'll take some practical questions, take questions from you as well, and we'll call it an evening. So I think I should go ahead, right? Should I go ahead? We have 9 people in the room. Should I go ahead, sir?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, we can proceed. We are currently checking with other participants. Some of them did not have the correct link.
Oh, I
So they're
see.
joining soon. Yeah.
Okay, so let me pause a little bit so that we don't do a lot of back and forth. Okay, I'm seeing more people come into the room. Yes, we're waiting for other participants, Ezra. Thank you for being here. Please, you can introduce yourself in the chat area in between. Use the chat area. You can write your first name, where you're listening in from, and when you're writing your exam. Thank you. Okay, we are 27 in the room. Once we hit 35, I would begin. Thank you. Please introduce yourself, first name, where you're listening in from, when you're writing your exam. Okay, Love says Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, you're in Nigeria along with me. I'm in Abuja, Nigeria. July 2nd. Beautiful, beautiful. I guess you're 99% ready. Okay, Dr. Diallo, Lome, Togo. Tomorrow, oh, we wish you all the best. We say a prayer for success. Ayiba, South Sudan, July 29th. Okay, so you'll be taking the new exam. Afwa, Ghana, Saturday, you're in a prayers. You've already succeeded. David, Accra, Ghana, tomorrow. Wow, wow, you've already succeeded. Nosipo, Joburg. Okay, you've not booked yet. Memuna, July 3rd, Lagos, Nigeria. Dave, okay, Dave says tomorrow. Latifat, 26th June. Wow, that is amazing. I want to hear all these beautiful success stories on LinkedIn, once we can connect. Dr. Diallo, okay, I see. Afua, amen. Francisca, Accra, Ghana. Tomorrow, God's grace. Anthony, Lagos, Nigeria, 3rd July, July 1st, Kodani, Johannesburg. Okay, you book for it. I hope your internet doesn't bounce. Okay, that's good. I wish you all the best. Machewe, Eswatini. Where's that? July 1st. Beautiful. Beautiful. So that means we have test takers in the room. Interesting. So let me see where are we at? 47. Okay. So I'll stretch it a little bit. Once we hit 50, we'll begin. Okay, Tanzania. Kinda. July 3rd. Interesting. Interesting. Kenya. Jeanette. July 5th. Okay, that's fine. July 5th is a Sunday. Okay. All the best. JP, Rwanda, 27 June. I know a lot of people writing on Monday. Wow. And time does fly. Before we know it, we are done. Bafua, Ghana, Kumasi, June 30. You want to close the month with this exam? That's interesting. Okay, so that is so good. Please connect in the chat area. Connect in the chat area. If you're still writing far out, connect with each other, so that we can support each other. Victoria, please, can you take us through? No, the critical part is not my thing for today. I have a curriculum that was given me, but what I will tell you to do is, if you use ChatGPT, please go to PMI Infinity. It's a GPT there. So if you have questions on critical part, on float, on Slack, it would help you. Edwin, Ghana, June 28th. Ouadarago, I hope I got your name well. July 31st. Ivory Coast, Ibironke, Lagos, Nigeria, June 30th. Beautiful. A lot of people are closing. Okay, The Ivory Coast guy is July 31st. So that means if you're not writing between now and July 9th, July 8th, you'll be writing the new exam, okay? So that's how it's going to be, the new exam content outline. All right, Peace Akpebi, July 7th, Lagos, Nigeria. Beautiful. Sorry, someone needs to mute. Andrew Lusaka, July 2nd, Perpetual, June 29th. Okay, perfect. You wrote and failed. Oh, so sorry. Process and business environment. So what you would do if you have such an issue, look at your report, and focus on the content outline areas that were highlighted so that you're not reading everything afresh from ground up. Okay, so that would really help. Yes, you will get help here and, in subsequent sessions, but I would suggest don't rush to, write July 9th, just take your time, breathe, rest, and then re-strategize. Aziz, Abuja, Aziz, you're in my city. Saturday, 27th, all the best. Edwin, Ghana, 28 June. Okay, God's grace. Kaka, June 28th. Neka, June, that's my sister's name. June 28th, Nigeria. I wish you all the best. Amara, July 9th. Beautiful. Okay, July 6th. Beautiful. Writing at home. Amara, I hope your network is working. You have a backup network. That should help. Kaina, July 6th, Ghana. Obeng Yeboah, 5th July, sounds like a good date. Prince, Abuja, July 1st, you're in my city. I wish you all the best. Eddie, June 26th, Abuja. So I will cut here and move straight. Wow, okay, so we have a sizable number. Sorry, I think the link was not the right one for you. So that's how it got mixed up. But well, we waited for everyone. So my agenda, we've done quick introductions. So we'll go to the polls next. And then of course, I'll go through the sections I'll be talking about, which is ensuring team member stakeholders are adequately trained, removing impediments and managing issues, helping ensure knowledge transfer. And we'll do a few practice questions and also look at the questions you may have. So a little bit about me. I think I should put my camera on when I'm speaking about me. I'll put it off once I'm done so that we just concentrate, on the material. So my name is Dr. Juga Jumwa. I'm a project management consultant, speaker, trainer, online business coach for business owners that want to build a sustainable but profitable business. I'm a co-founder at Right Track Consulting. By January, we are 18 years, of practicing. And I'm chairman at an NGO, Teach for Employability Skills Foundation. So you can connect with me. I don't want to read all of that. You can connect with me on LinkedIn after the program on this link with my name, and that's my business website. So I look forward to connecting with every single one of you. Welcome to June edition. Welcome to June edition. If you can see the screen, please give me a thumbs up. If everything is okay at your end, please give me a thumbs up because I'm going in very quickly. I'm seeing 120, there are 120 people already in the room. So we're hitting the ground running. So if you're just coming in, welcome. Tell us your first name, your city, when you're writing this exam, and let's keep going. All right, I think we've done this. We've done a little bit of this. So a bit of housekeeping. Please turn off notifications on your phone, move away from your TV or radio set, get a journal. Let's have a valuable conversation. So I think we've also done this. So I'll skip my poll. Some people mentioned they've not applied for the exam. I think I asked, when are you writing? So that's cool. That's fine. You can actually write once you're ready. Please do not pressure yourself to write if you're not ready. You know, it's not an exam to go in unprepared for. The second question, do you know the exam changes July 9th? So the PMI has a new exam content outline. It came out in April, you know, but the exams will be changing to match that exam content outline, not the PMBOK. The PMBOK is a reference material. The PMBOK is good, the 8th edition, because the 7th edition will also be sunsetted, you know. So these are the important things I felt, you know, you should know. So let's keep going. If you've not introduced yourself, I see 136 people in the room. Please feel free, introduce yourself. As I go through the material and you have questions, please feel free to also put it in the chat area. When I'm done completely with the presentations and we go through certain questions, I'll go through the questions on the chat area, you know, and very quickly we'll see what we can do. So thank you so much. I mentioned PMI Infinity for those that are writing this current exam that is still going on. Please go to PMI Infinity. You know, it's PMI's GPT. I don't know whether you've heard about it. Let me try to see. Can I type? I can't type. I wonder why. Hey, why can't I type? Okay, so PMI Infinity, I'm sure a lot of us have a ChatGPT account. Once you get in there, go to the GPT area, type PMI Infinity. You can use it to revise, you know, you could use the audio functionality or future, ask the questions you have, and it should be able to, you know, help you answer it, especially your gray areas, you know, and so on. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people still introduce themselves. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let us see who and who is in the room. Okay. Okay. A lot of people are writing before July 9th. Okay, Amara says no Pearson view center in my state. You have a new, okay, but just make sure you have a backup internet. Kashif says tomorrow, God's grace, God will go with you. Robert, July 7th, great. Lasing, 2nd July. Charity says no sound. If you can't hear me, please go out and come back in. It should rectify. Tembi, South Africa, 6th July. Henrich, June, is that June 1st or July 1st? June has passed. Okay. A lot of Julys. Beautiful, beautiful. Those writing tomorrow, you know, till the July 8th, I wish you all the best. Olusegun, Bonny Island, exams in July. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so thank you. He has shared the link to PMI Infinity. It's such a great tool to help you to revise, you know, asking those tough questions, you know, and all of that. That should help. All right, so let's go in. Train team members and stakeholders. So that's my first topic. I'll go very quickly. So enablers, determine required competencies and elements of training, determine training options based on training needs, allocate resources for training, and then ensure training happens, measure training outcomes. So we have deliverables and tools, you know, as per usual. So deliverables, training and mentoring plan, training cost estimates, training calendar. This is, you know, quite a self-explanatory one. Training assessments, certifications, then tools, training gap analysis, because, you know, to train people, you need to know where they are and what gaps they have that you need to bridge. You know, then the training itself, pairing and mentoring. So required competencies, you must identify what are the things we would need to deliver our project, and then this could include knowledge, skills, and other attributes. In fact, people even train for behavior, so sometimes that could be a competency. If someone is client facing, you need to teach them customer experience or customer relationship skills, and so on. So let's look at the elements of training. Training is any activity where you're enhancing your knowledge, your skills, your attitudes, and so on. It can be given to an individual, small groups, large teams, and so on. It covers management, technical, or administrative topics. Delivery modes are, so many these days, thanks to technology, from instructor-led classroom, where you're in there with a lecturer teaching you, to virtual classroom like we're doing now, instructor-led virtual classroom. You could also have self-paced e-learning, where the team members could go to a portal, log in, and then learn at their pace with videos, audios, assignments, PDFs, and so on. Document reviews. So sometimes training could just be reviewing documentation. Interactive simulations. Yeah, there are so many simulations these days, thanks to AI, that you could use to simulate situations practically on your project. For instance, the Monte Carlo simulations, one could also use it to check how much risk is involved in my project. What should we do? What should be our plan A and B, and so on. On the job training, OJT, a lot of people learn on the job, so why do they learn on the job? Because not everybody comes in fully formed, with all the skills they need for actually driving the projects that they are on. So you find out that, on the job, someone helps them. I remember my first job, many decades ago, someone supported me, in those days, Microsoft project was new, Excel was fairly there, but using pivot tables and all those things, you need someone to guide you. So on the job training often happens within organizations. Guidelines to determine required competencies. What knowledge will be required for this stakeholder to perform as expected with the new solution? So these are things that would make you, decide on the type of training to provide. What skills or hands-on experience are also needed to learn and be able to demonstrate readiness to carry out work using the solution? Then what level of buy-in to the solution has been given by the stakeholder? What aspects of training needs to be employed to help develop support for that solution? So by the time you're asking these questions, using these prompts, it would actually give you an idea of the level of training, the type of training, the mode of training that would work for your project. Then what modalities of training should be offered? What are the costs? Because remember, every organization has a training budget, so you must work within the budget given you. Training and mentoring plan. Another things to note, training should be done as close to the point of solution use as possible. So for instance, if you took your team on training, maybe you're learning a scheduling tool like Microsoft Project, Oracle Primavera, and so on. And the project is to start, let's say, June 2027. You don't need to train them, December 2025, because by the time they're using it in 2027, June, they may just lose some aspects of it. So you must train close to the point of use. Scheduling is also critical, so that, you put it on a calendar so that there won't be any delay on working on that project, when it's needed. So you must also schedule it in a way that it doesn't delay them going through that learning curve and then moving into the project. Then perform a gap analysis to identify missing knowledge, skills, required attributes. Usually the HR, if you're in a large organization, the HR will do this, will do either informal surveys or formal surveys to find out what do you need training on, and then they put it together and make their decision. Training options. Training options. You have virtual instructor-led, so like the one we're doing right now, where the trainer virtually teaches, without being there physically. Like we have, a lot of people I've counted more than 25 countries, in here, and then we're able to do this virtually, so virtual training, very good, low cost. You don't need to travel for it. So most times organizations will opt for this. I'm sure a lot of us here have internal learning management systems, within our organizations. Even if it's not available, a lot of organizations plan to do that as well, because it really helps with the core things the team needs to learn. And it's cheaper, actually. Again, simulated hands-on labs, so that people can practice as they learn, depending on what they are learning, of course. Then you have the self-paced e-learning. I think I talked about that. People log in, into a portal with their usernames, their passwords, and then they can enjoy videos, exercises, PDFs, and what have you. A benefit of self-paced is that it's scalable. You could do it with a large number of potential students. Then we have document reviews. We've also talked about that. So for simple knowledge transfer, you can share relevant documents and it may just be sufficient. But I will add something. In the age of AI, there is an AI tool by Google, Gemini, called Notebook LM. So within your organizations, if maybe you need to transfer knowledge, maybe something new that you're working on within your project, you could gather all your documents as sources and put it into Notebook LM, and then your team can go into that notebook, and be able to query it as an infographic to understand all the knowledge. Imagine maybe the document is 400 pages. You can query it as quizzes, as a podcast, as flashcards, and so on. And it helps them to understand the information without reading so many bits and pieces of those pages. So that's a way of, getting people trained in a very simple way internally. Training costs, part of your schedule and budget, you must consider what are all the logistics costs, to train my team. If people need to travel from point A to B, what will be the, flight fee, the hotel fees, whatever thing they will need, you need to put all of that in there, trainers' fees, materials, and so on. Then you have your training calendar. So the project manager needs to publish and support a specific calendar of training dates and location, so that this calendar can be published on time and people can, take a look at the calendar and put, the information to mind so that they are available for when training would occur. Then we also have pairing and mentoring. This usually would happen to reinforce learning, so you can pair customer stakeholders together so that they can support each other as they learn something new. Then there is also mentoring, where a less experienced team member can be paired with an experienced team member. so that there is team building, they are collaborative, they are supporting each other, and the projects move forward. Then there is baseline and post-training assessments. So by the time training is done because you want new information passed to team members so that they can work in a more effective way. So baselining provides a technique for measuring efficacy of training. So you can check in on them. You could do things like pre-assessments before the training, post-assessments after the training to demonstrate the newly acquired levels of competence. So always have a test, a quiz. I know adults don't like to write tests, but somehow we just need to here and there. Then guidelines to ensure training occurs. Make sure you create awareness for that training when it's available. Send out invites early enough so that it doesn't clash with other things and the date can be kept, for the training event to occur. Engage with your customer management for buying. Make sure that everybody that needs to attend the training comes in. And if there is a registration form, put out that information so that they can, do it online and get reminders, very important. I think these days a lot of people use Google Forms, Microsoft Forms, so you could use that to set up, the particular training that you have. Then we have rosters, make sure that there are rosters for each delivery of the training. People sign in, even if it's virtual, let people sign in so that you can be sure of the number of people that attended and participated in both pre and post assessments. So again, certification. So training can go beyond, just regular training to also having industry certifications like we are striving for. The PMP is a very important certification. In fact, if you ask me, every person, every professional needs it, because there are different things that it touches. It helps you with your leadership. It helps you with execution, and that's what most people will be doing on the job. So certifications demonstrate that knowledge and skills have been gained during training. So certification can happen immediately after training at a testing center with a proctor, just like those that are about to write their exams. You could go to the Pearson View Center, write your exam. It could be delivered online, using a webcam proctor. Someone supervises you as you write. Industry credentials are more portable and can be more desirable by those who hold the certification, and for future employers, they want to see the body of knowledge that you're bringing to the table. So remember, we've been speaking about training. So from time to time, you also measure training outcomes. So training is usually measured by the ability to perform that work that you went to, get trained about. So post-assessments, certifications, they prove knowledge, but the true test of training is when you apply this knowledge, these skills within the workplace. So remember, if you have any questions on training, please do feel free, to drop it now. You can drop it now. Okay, I see 208 people. Amazing. Question time. I'll pause a bit. Any question? I know training is, self-explanatory, but if you have a question, please feel free to drop it. Okay. Any question? I'm pausing for your questions. Okay, I'm guessing there is no question. If you have a question, you want to lift your hand, please feel free. Okay, what happens if your training doesn't make an impact? That means it wasn't well designed, David. training must be impactful. So it must, first of all, that's why we did the gap analysis. It must be well designed, and then it will be impactful to the participants that come in for it. Thank you for that question. Elebwede Olusegun. Okay, you said no question, no problem. Thank you. Any question? Question time. We are pausing a little bit. I think I will go on because we still have a lot to cover. So let's take a look at removing impediments and managing issues. Now, there is no project that is just a straight line. There could be detours, there could be a mountain to climb, a river to swim, but there are ways to handle it. Remember, the PMP teaches you best practice. So let's take a look at all of these things. Impediments, obstacles, and blockers. So since the project team generates most of the business value, it's critical for the project manager to maximize how they are delivering the project by removing anything that will hinder their progress. So we have impediments, issues that slow down the progress of a project, but does not completely halt it. Okay, things that can cause a go slow, like we'll say in Nigeria, a go slow, but it doesn't halt the project completely. Then we have obstacles, challenges that require a strategic approach to overcome. So challenges could also happen, that you just need to jump over. And then we have blockers. These ones, they are showstoppers, like we would say. Blockers completely stop progress on a project. So I just want you to have these three definitions in mind. Let's keep going. So let's take a look at issue or impediments. Issues are conditions or situations that may have an impact on the project objectives. So, there is an issue here, there's an issue there. Impediments, obstacles that prevent the team from achieving those objectives. We also call them blockers, like we just saw over here. So things that would stop them. So with predictive teams, we use the term issue log, but with agile adaptive teams, we use the term impediment log. So this term is related to Scrum. So you see, impediment log. This one is an issue log, but it means the same thing. Anything that is, slowing down the project. Remember, blockers will stop it completely. So let's evaluate impact of impediments. So what are some of those? How do we identify these impediments? Daily coordination meetings, or like we'll say, the daily stand-ups, where for 10 to 15 minutes, you can check in Monday to Friday with your team. What are we doing? Where do we have issues? Where do we have impediments? What is stopping us? And then you have retrospectives as well as a way to identify these impediments. Retrospectives are, an agile ceremony for looking back at your sprints, to see what have we done so far, what did we do well, what did we not do well, what have we learned in the process, where can we improve, so it could help you find impediments. Again, you watch for bottlenecks, things that are causing work not to move forward, especially in very bureaucratic settings. Monitor dependencies, monitor how things are depending on each other and whether it's impacting the progress of work, and then track historical data. Track historical data, very important, so that you can, watch the trends and see how work moves quickly. All right, so let's keep going. So sometimes you can use a tracking system. So to monitor impediments, obstacles, and blockers, you could use a tracking system. It could be a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, or a Kanban board, or a project management tool. There are so many these days, so you can record who reported an issue, what is the impact of that issue or obstacle or whatever, who is responsible for resolving it. So imagine you have 50 team members. You need to identify for this particular type of issue, this person, Mr. David, is responsible for resolving it because he has that expertise, or because he knows the external stakeholder to connect to. Analyzing impact and urgency. Start by analyzing how much impediments impact your project scope, schedule, cost, quality, or risks. So you could use, yes, sorry? Sorry? Was that a question?
Oh, no, I'm not sure. It seems someone mistakenly opened the mic.
Okay, okay. So you
However,
could use,
there are questions that
yes,
people
I know.
posted.
Once I'm done, yes, please, if you have questions, feel free to drop them. We'll take them at the end of this topic. So prioritization matrix. So what does that do? On this chart, we have quality characteristics, process inputs. So by the time you're, looking at what is as in like you're measuring quality versus your process input. If there are so many disparities, that means there is an issue there. So a prioritization matrix will help project teams focus on the most critical issues. Because from your graphs, you can find clusters where there is an issue and you need to find how you can resolve it. Then you can use it to map issues based on impact and urgency. Not every issue is high impact and high urgency. So functions like impact urgency matrix can be used in risk evaluation so that the ones that are high impact, high urgency, you're being proactive about it. Because if you just stay there, like we'll say, there could be fire on the mountain, that's when the project is moving helter skelter. But if you can be proactive about it, be watching your dashboards, be sure of what is going on, it would help a lot. Then analyzing dependencies. Examine if the impediment creates bottlenecks or directly impacts dependencies between tasks or teams. Assess the ripple effect of what is going on your project milestones, on your deliverables, and so on. Then prioritizing and highlighting impediments. So remember, in this one, we just talked about identifying them, tracking them, and so on. So we're trying to measure how much of it is affecting us, what should we do, analyzing the impact, the aftershocks. It's just like how maybe there is an earthquake somewhere. After some time, there could be an aftershock somewhere. So prioritize and highlight impediments. So let's prioritize issues. How do you prioritize and escalate critical blockers? So sometimes you may find out that it's not something you can handle. So you prioritize impediments based on their impact on scope, cost, or schedule. Address the most critical impediments first, because everything cannot be critical at the same time. Then escalate to project sponsors or functional managers if the resolution requires higher authority. Okay, because there are within some organizations, there are levels of authority that certain project managers may have, so you need to look at higher managers, your line managers, and so on. Then keep looking for patterns. Look for recurring themes across sprints, retrospectives, or project phases. Then use root cause analysis to eliminate underlying causes of repeated blockers. So that means when you do a root cause, you're going very deep to find out. It's just like how someone can get sick and you're just taking aspirin, for instance. Meanwhile, you didn't really do like a lab test, so the same thing. You need to look deeply what could be causing most of these repeated blockers. And once you're able to remove it, you will see that your project will start moving very quickly. Then there's a tool we call an issue prioritization matrix. So this is an example, of one. So on this axis, we have high impact, medium impact, low impact. And then on this other axis, we have high urgency, medium urgency, low urgency. So for impact, you're looking at how is it affecting scope, schedule, cost, or quality. For urgency, how soon will that issue be resolved? For probability, what's the likelihood of escalation or reoccurrence? And then effort or complexity, these ones are optional. How difficult or how many resources would you need, to resolve that issue? So for issues you find, you then categorize them and you could color code them. So you could use like your Word document, to create such a template for a phase of your project, so that the things that are critical in red, it means they are really urgent. They must be resolved very quickly, So the ones that are very low urgency, low impact, nothing much should be done about them. But the ones that are high impact, high urgency must be treated very quickly. So again, let's keep going. We'll get to the questions soon. So determine and apply an intervention strategy to remove or minimize impediments. So you're now looking at how do we intervene so that these things does not derail the project. You must understand the problem statement. You must understand the problem statement. What is the problem? So define that problem and then define a shared vision and objective, so that everybody knows, oh, this is the project vision, what we're trying to achieve. That really helps with people's mindsets on projects. Then collect and analyze data. First of all, when you understand what a problem is, and then understand the vision of what you're trying to build, you gather data around it. Next, you can develop targeted intervention approaches because now you have, good information, and then incorporate your team and stakeholder input, because for you to get it solved, everybody must be able to come together collaboratively to solve it so that they can take ownership of what you're trying to do as the project manager. Then apply solutions through targeted actions. Implement the solutions your team identified. Get the team or stakeholders involved as needed. Leverage, if you have subject matter experts, bring them in. That's a good time to bring them in. External partnerships so that they can help you to address these impediments. Because some of these people, they have expert judgment. They understand, these things. Maybe they've been doing it for decades, so they will come in with good information that can help your project move forward. Then use matrices, feedback, performance reviews to continuously, so it's a continuous thing, to continuously monitor your solutions effectiveness. So let's see when a risk has become an issue. So sometimes, we may just mix that up. So what are risks? Risks are focused on the future. Oh, this thing may happen, in a few months' time. We don't really know when. And then risks can be positive. When they are positive, we call them opportunities. When they are negative, we call them threats. So you could have opportunities and threats. And then they are documented in the risks register. The response to risks, we call it a risk response. So we have positive risk response, negative risk response. And then for issues, issues are focused on the present. It will always be negative. So issues don't have a positive, part of them. They are documented in the issue log. For risks, it's the risks register. The response to issues, we call it a workaround. Have you seen that? You're walking around that issue. So sometimes you want issues solved ASAP, as soon as possible, because you don't want it to keep going on and on. All right, so where you can find issues, so these are all the places that are prone to issues. These are all the places prone to issues. In fact, most times when people are hired into organizations, they always come in, the first few months, there is an issue here, there is an issue there, but then issues we said they must be worked around. You must find a work around it. Issues are part of how, you have to deal with projects. So again, let's take a look at recognizing our transition. So track your trigger points, monitor each risk, particularly the projected impact dates or thresholds, so that it doesn't go way beyond you. So keep tracking it, keep looking for what is triggering it. Then monitor your risk indicators. Regularly review risk indicators or early warning signs, that were written during your, project meetings, where you're talking about risks, where you're assessing risks, because hidden in there could be the things that could still happen in the future on your project. Then assess unexpected project conditions. Watch for new developments that align with identified risks during project execution. So let's take a look at collaborating with relevant stakeholders on an approach to resolve issues. So you need a lot of support to resolve serious issues. So first of all, you must understand the issue clearly. So before an issue can be resolved, there must be clarity. Clearly articulate the issue and the impact. So you must find a way to sit down with stakeholders, think through it, ask the necessary questions, and then you're able to understand how deep that issue is. Again, define the issue based on facts, not assumptions. That means you're using objective data. You're observing the situation. You're looking at documented evidence, not just hearsay, so that you can really see for real what is going on and how that issue is impacting project progress. Avoid subjective interpretations. Focus on the real problem, not some problem in your mind or in the minds of your team. So help the team to take accurate and effective action. So to help resolve issues, you must get the right stakeholders. So using your stakeholder register, which you would have created by now, you can use it to identify who is going to be impacted by this project or who can help us resolve a certain issue. Include those directly affected and those that can provide support, resources, approvals, sometimes even political will in very complex organizations. Consider a wide range of stakeholders, such as team members that are involved in the daily work, sponsors with decision-making authority, clients or end users affected by the outcome. Engage relevant stakeholders early in the resolution process. This helps to ensure they understand the issue, the impact, and how they can contribute so that everybody is on the same page. and stakeholders are also seeing clearly. There is no hidden agendas. Everybody is seeing clearly what is going on. Engaging stakeholders early. So during the times where you're trying to solve these issues, make sure you involve them early. Sometimes project managers want to solve it by themselves. No, sometimes things may not just be solved by you and your internal team. So you may need your stakeholders to, gather more insights and build alignment. And it encourages collaboration so that everybody can sit together to brainstorm solutions and evaluate options. You can use structured techniques to guide the process, use workshops or brainstorming sessions. Apply active listening, so you're listening not to respond, but to understand the various perspectives and to identify constraints. Then you present factual data. To present data, explore alternatives and assess consequences for informed decision making. So how do we promote joint decisions? Lean into collaboration, not, someone being authoritarian. So make sure that you're collaborating with your key stakeholders, to be able to get their buy-in and make a decision as a whole unit. So you have multi-criteria decision analysis. We'll talk about that. Voting, consensus building. So let's take a look at each. Multi-criteria decision analysis. You could use a decision matrix, where you're putting numbers to evaluate and rank options. So by the time you weight all the options, you take the highest ones. Apply criteria such as risks, uncertainty, and value. Criteria are weighted to help ensure consistent evaluation. You could use tools like prioritization matrices, analytic hierarchy process like software, to also do this, especially in very complex projects. And then this will help generate scores to identify and rank the best alternatives, the best way to go. Then we have voting. You can do your analysis with AI, evaluate multiple criteria simultaneously, apply advanced algorithms for faster decision making, enable a balanced scorecard approach, prioritize your projects by overall value and feasibility. Then we have consensus building. Voting is a group decision making and assessment technique. So you want people to, vote. What do you want us to do with this issue that is going on? So sometimes you could have unanimity. A decision is reached where everyone says that course of action will just go with it. So everyone agrees on a single course of action. Then there is majority. A decision is reached where more than 50% of the group supports a particular option. So they said majority carries the vote. Then plurality. A decision is made by the largest block of votes, even if it's not a majority. So these are ways to build consensus with your stakeholders. So to arrive at a consensus, use a collaborative approach, focus on understanding what are all the viewpoints, what are all the perspectives, especially if there are conflicts going on. Then treat consensus as a goal when trust and time are available. Look at everybody's viewpoint with open dialogue. Then encourage a cooperative attitude and win-win outcomes. Build commitment through inclusive discussions that leads to consensus. Coordinating with resource owners and functional managers. Engage resource managers early. confirm resource availability, and then if that thing is not available, escalate any gaps, before they start impacting your work. And document all your agreements and action plans. So log your agreed resolutions and assign responsibilities in your issue log or your action register or whatever name you call it. So you open it, make sure that the status, if the status is open, leave it open. When it's closed, you can close the status. Know who does what, who is the owner, who is supposed to help resolve it, by what date, what is the priority. So these are templates you could use, to resolve these things. Then reassess continually to help ensure impediments, obstacles, and blockers are addressed. Sometimes when we discuss things in meetings, sometimes a few of them may not really be implemented. So you want to, keep monitoring, so keep the issues under control, raise them at status meetings so that they are still visible. You can still talk about them and find ways to deal with it. Limit open issues to a manageable number so that it's not overloaded. Escalate issues that exceed thresholds or impact the project to the project sponsor or your key stakeholders, because there are some issues that are beyond you as the project manager. Continuously reassess, keep, to looking at ways to improve when working, and then when new issues even come up, because sometimes you could solve certain issues and some new ones, just come up. Monitoring and following up. After implementing the solution, monitor the solution's effectiveness, follow up with stakeholders to address concerns or needed adjustments, communicate progress and results to all your key stakeholders, foster collaboration, make sure that they are, collaborating with you to help you solve it. Because, it's not the project manager alone that can solve, issues, that would come up on projects. Then resolve them efficiently and maintain project momentum, because you don't want it to slow down your project schedules. Keep reassessing, integrate the lessons you learn, from tackling them, put it back, put the insights into the risk register, your retrospective notes, your continuous improvement plans, and so on. So reassess again during retrospectives and reviews. So when you're doing your retrospectives, look at past impediments. How well did we resolve it? In predictive environment, traditional project management environments, use phase-end reviews to reflect on blocker resolution processes. So this is an issue resolution guideline. Again, you still have that template. You track problems, inconsistencies, conflicts, and keep moving it forward. So when issues arise, you add them to the log. Assign an owner, give a realistic due date for when it's to be resolved. Discuss issues. This is a PMI exam question. Always discuss issues at every status meeting, and then try to limit open issues. We've mentioned that. Don't hesitate to also escalate. So even if they give you a scenario question, and you notice the issue has gone out of what the project manager should handle, please, the best answer would always be to escalate. So I'll pause now as we go to the last topic for your questions. So let me take a look at the chat area. I'm pausing. Please, if you have questions, something was not clear, please feel free to ask. Okay. Positive risks. Please explain positive risks. Okay, opportunities. So opportunities, for instance, you're digging for diamonds and you find gold. I just like to use that. So that's an opportunity. You were mining for diamonds. As you were digging, you find gold. That's the positive risk. If I could explain it with that. Someone says, provide a practical example of plurality. Okay, we said if 50% is majority, but if you have blocks of, maybe you have, let's say 38%, 22%, 41%, you're choosing, because they are not the majority, but you're choosing 41%. I hope it's a bit clearer now. Could I share the slides? Yes, I will. I will share the slides. I will give them the link. They will share that across to you so that you can review. Someone says, Itwa. Okay. I hope yes, you, of course, you get the recording. Is there another question I may have missed? Okay, that was an older question. Someone says, if your project, do we have a pool? There's so many. Do we have a pool of resources from where we can engage trainers from PMPs? Yes, you can contact me on LinkedIn. We are actually ATPs, accredited training providers. So we have various types of trainers in different industries. So Elebede, you can contact me on LinkedIn. Francesca, in a situation where a project is behind schedule, over budget, is it better to employ SME or allow mentorship? It depends. If most organizations, if the project is behind schedule, you may need to bring in consultants. Okay, maybe the people in there, their hands are not strong, like we would say. So you need to bring in consultants to assist. Mentorship may take a while. I like that question. Then Mogoba, how do we measure training? Okay, without making people feel like it's an exam. There are various ways. So you could do teach back, like someone comes back to the office, like teach back your peers, your fellow colleagues, what 2 things or 3 things you learned, without them writing an exam. And then it could also be them doing, for instance, if the thing needed them to build, like, build something and then evaluate what they built based on what they learned in the training. Someone says I should share my screen. Akin today. I hope you've been seeing my screen. So if you don't see the screen for any reason, it could just be your network. So please go back, come back in. It will resolve. Prince. Mhm. Okay, where should a positive risk be documented? In the same, of course, you could just call it the positive risk stroke opportunity log, so you could document that as well. Very complex question. I hope I answered you just because of the time. Someone says, if I want to take exam on July 9, will it be the new, from July 9th is the new exam? Okay. Okay, so it was answered. Okay, so those ones were answered. Can you clarify risks versus issues versus impediments? Issues, we talked about things happening now, risks in the future, impediments, all these little things that could be happening to slow down the project, blockers, things that stop you from moving forward. Okay, I hope that answered you, Hanu. Samuel, is the prep for the current scheme of that is a mixture of both. But of course, the knowledge did not change much in this new one that I'm using, Samuel. Enid, In predictive projects, we can use an issue log. I didn't see the rest of your question. Was it that long? Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay. Okay, recording. We'll share the slides. Don't worry. Please just listen through, ask questions. That's why you're here. Chukwuka, can you give me one situation where the PMI has? Okay, so where the PM has to escalate. We said, for instance, something has gone beyond a threshold. Maybe your budget was impacted. Maybe you're allowed to use a certain amount. Let's say Naira is 100,000 Naira, but you now see that it's moving towards 101,000. So that means you need to start escalating because you've gone beyond the allowable threshold, the ceiling. Okay, so that's when you escalate. I hope that helped. You jump from impediments. Yes, that's how it is. NOSIPO. What probability rating do you assign to an issue? It depends. You just weight it. But of course, you use experts to do these things. Put numbers on it, probability numbers. Sorry, Ezra, I'm not clear on your question, Prince. Okay, I didn't say that. Okay. Oh, Henne. In a scenario where the questions are plenty. In a scenario where a company is moving from predictive to agile way of work and training has been given to key stakeholders, and somewhere down the line, a stakeholder raises issues with an ongoing project because they don't understand certain agile ways of working. Do you train them? Beautiful question, Ohene. Beautiful. Yes, you train them on the agile. Agile has many ceremonies. So you can train them on the agile ceremonies. Okay, no, you don't just highlight because they will still not be clear. They need to be clear. Anthony, when should the PM escalate? I think I answered that. Angelica, what if I booked in June, but I have 18 June? Yes, it's the new exam. So please slow down and you can shift your date if you're not prepared. Sherry Fatu, when do we escalate to small? I've mentioned that as well. When you go beyond the threshold of what is allowable. Okay, what if your tech lead is not well experienced? Take them to go for training. And the training doesn't mean physical training like I showed you. It could be virtual instructor-led, it could be online self-paced, it could even be, things like this MOOCs, Coursera, Udemy, on that particular simple thing they need to learn. It could be YouTube if you find a good video, depending on what the technical problem would be. It would delay the project. So that means before you put people in, make sure they have the skill sets, okay? Especially if the project is, really, what would I say? If the project is mission critical, you don't want to be training people now, when it's a very urgent kind of thing. I hope I answered that, Neka. Francisca, when do you allow the agile team to self-organize rather than removing the impediments? No, why you support to remove the impediments is that sometimes things may just go beyond, what the team can handle. Okay, I hope that helps you. Yes, you have 2 more attempts, but please, if you're not prepared, please, this is not, don't do it like that. But if you're not prepared, please shift. Okay, no need going in. No need going in, if you're not prepared. I hope that helps, please. It's not that type of exam. Remember, you're paying for the exam. Okay, so there we go. We still have a few minutes and we're doing great. So this one is just talking about knowledge transfer. Okay, knowledge transfer. So you have it both in the old and the new exam content outline. So even if you see that I'm using a bit of that, is because it's the same thing, okay? And some others in the room are also writing after July 9th. So let's take a look at knowledge management. It's an essential asset of any organization. Individuals, team knowledge, organizational knowledge allows the organization to do what it does, seamlessly, very fast. In fact, you see all the Googles, the Microsofts, the Open AIs, Anthropic and so on. They do a lot of things well because they manage knowledge within the organization. So knowledge can be project specific, outcomes of projects, new training. So these are knowledge types: explicit knowledge, information that can be readily codified using words, pictures, or numbers. Tacit knowledge, information that cannot be easily codified, like someone's special way of doing something. I'm sure if you've eaten at a fine dining restaurant, you find out that chefs, that's why they call it chef's kiss. Chefs do so well. When you eat maybe what they've created, you'll be like, but I used to cook this thing in my house, but then they have tacit knowledge. They have a way, like marinating the meat for certain hours, doing certain things in certain ways, and getting those wonderful results. So these are the two key knowledge types. Fostering a knowledge sharing culture. Knowledge sharing is so important within projects. Nobody should hoard. Like we'll say on Instagram, no gatekeeping. Nobody should gatekeep information that can help the project, that can help the organization, that can help a fellow team member. Team members should learn from and teach each other. A knowledge sharing culture is for everyone. If your organization doesn't have it, please, that's something you're learning from today. Have it. I remember one of the places I used to work, an IT firm many years ago. We used to have Fridays, from after lunch hour till maybe 4 p.m. We teach each other what we learned that week doing works, because sometimes you may be struggling, but someone has learned it. But just because you didn't have an exchange with that person, you're still struggling. So imagine having that as part of your organizational culture. You see the project move forward. So some project roles are dedicated again to knowledge sharing: coaches, scrum masters in agile projects. So a knowledge sharing culture is essential, for product delivery and planning transitions. So the role of the project manager: maintain the team and transfer knowledge. Identify different knowledge transfer approaches. So let's look at gathering knowledge. Gathering knowledge in a project needs you to systematically collect, analyze, and share this information so that you can achieve project goals. So this process helps enhances efficiency and mitigates risks. So these are 3 levels of knowledge management: individual. So what do team members need to do their work? So you make sure that you support them with that knowledge through training, through collaboration. If you send someone to the farm to do work and you didn't give them seed, you didn't give them a hoe or cutlass, I know we are all Africans, would the person be able to do anything? No. So you must give the knowledge they would need to do the work. Even if you had an AI team member, you must teach AI the business, give it the knowledge it requires to be able to do the work. Then project level: what is required to achieve the project goals? So you provide retrospectives, lessons learned from current projects or other projects, such as your OPAs, your organizational process assets. Then organization, what is required to manage programs or portfolios. So you adapt knowledge from other programs or portfolios and then incorporate proven practices. Fostering an environment for knowledge transfer. Please remember this is the last one. Please bear with us. If you have questions, feel free to, drop them as we go. Would also take a short, like 15 questions, post review, that I've created just to help us lock down what we learned. Then curating knowledge as an asset. Document explicit knowledge. You can archive it and share. You could use your cloud storage, from Google Drives to Dropbox to OneBox, whatever your organization or yourself you're using. Then encourage individuals to share tacit knowledge and collaborate, because you could learn from someone's tacit knowledge and you do better. Then treat knowledge as an asset to the team and organization. Incorporate knowledge transfer opportunities, networking events, special interest groups, like create communities of practice. If you have coders, you could put them together, developers, vibe coders, put them together to share what they are doing. I'm just using that as an example. Meetings, seminars, you could do that in person, virtual, share knowledge. Training, job shadowing, learning from how someone is the job. You can also have knowledge transferred. So knowledge transfer can happen through lessons learned register, networking, communities of practice, meetings, seminars, in-person events, training, job shadowing. During project closure, you conduct retrospectives if it's an agile project, or lessons learned if it's a predictive project, and then you share information. Archive this information, finalize it, put it in your repository, so that even when you're doing a similar project in the future, you could go back to that knowledge. How did we deal with this impediment? How did we deal with this risk? How did we deal with this issue? How did we train people the last time? You can find all of that information there. Conduct your retrospectives, internalize what you learned, capture successes and challenges, consider people's feelings, and quantitative measurements. Look at data. What did we really achieve? Then use this data to find root causes, design countermeasures, and develop action plans for next time. And always praise, congratulate, and motivate your team. So retrospectives are not a time for pointing fingers. It's also a time to, celebrate the good work your team is doing. The same with your lessons learned. So you could include, some of these scope changes, how we handle it, schedule impacts, risks and issues, stakeholder relationships, how do we handle that, vendor relationships, artifacts, recommendations. Then you consolidate everything, categorize them and transfer them into your online repository so that people can easily, go in there and pick it. Then finally, you have your results summary, so you have scope objectives, you document all the things that happen scope-wise, quality objectives, you describe evaluation criteria for project and product quality, verify that they are met, give actual milestone delivery dates and reasons for variances that may have occurred. Cost objectives, restate acceptable cost range, give actual cost and reasons for any variances, validate information, include required approvals for final products, service, or result. You could also do your user satisfaction survey results, put them together. They are also part of that knowledge. Schedule objectives, verify project objectives were completed on time, report on variances as well, and effects of these variants. Benefit realization, state how the final product, service, or result achieve the business needs and expected benefits. If partial, give details of variances and fulfillment schedule. Then risks or issues encountered. List your risks and your issues and how they were addressed. So there we go. We'll quickly take the questions. I'll stop this share and share the questions. So let's quickly do this. I'll come back to the questions we also have. So this is 15 questions. I hope you can see the screen. Let me try to do a focused view. Okay, I think this is better. So I'll be scrolling down. We just have, 10 objective questions and 5 scenario-based questions. So let's take a quick look and start. You can batch your answers and put in the chat area. I want us to do this in how many minutes? We have till 8 p.m. Nigerian time. So we have like 25 minutes, but we can do this in, let's say, 15 minutes. So let's begin. Remember, in the real exam, you're supposed to spend like 70 seconds per question. So let's do that quickly.
Hello. Any screen, any questions on the screen?
Are you not seeing it?
Oh,
I
I can
can't see
see, I can see it.
You can't see it, or you can see it.
I can see
I
it.
can see
Okay.
it.
Sorry,
see
if you
two
can't
people, yeah.
see it, yes, please just go out and come back in. Then it will just rectify for you. Thank you. Just go out, come back in. You'll see it. Okay, when you need me to move it, yes, I can move it.
Can you move it down so we can see all the options of 4?
To drop it in the chat.
So batch your answers. Don't put it one by one so that we can just see everything at once. Remember, 70 seconds to one question. And one of the ways of passing is to practice as many questions as you can, and then you start getting there.
Could you please call up?
Please scroll up.
Please scroll for us to see options for question 8.
Sorry, can we see question 8?
Can I see 7, please?
Yeah, please scroll up for question 10, please.
Okay, I'm coming. Just a
Can you maybe please click on the thing that enlarge option there?
enlarge.
Please,
Can
yes,
I
next to
enlarge it
X.
further?
Please, no, to the right. To the right of the screen. Right at the top.
No.
Top right.
Okay.
Top. Maximize, sorry, maximize.
It's okay, it's okay.
I think it's okay. It may not go further. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, okay. Let's go to
Okay,
10.
so let's keep going.
So do we wait for the part 2 or we can submit 1 to 10 now?
You can submit 1 to 10 now.
Okay, let me submit, she said.
Just wait to finish. Don't be in a hurry.
Submit. Then we have 5 simple scenario-based questions. So let's go. Let's keep going since we've done question 10.
You want us to submit or do you want us to?
No, just hold on. So let's go through the quick scenario-based so that we just do it at once.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
So the first
no problem.
scenario says during a sprint. So this is the first scenario.
Mm-hmm. Is it during the sprint?
Sorry, for part 2, do we come up with our own answers or is there an option?
Yes,
to
your own
choose?
answers. No,
is it?
no,
Okay.
your
Thanks.
own answers.
Okay, thank you.
Understand. Understand.
Yeah. Please, I want to find out, even in the real exams, you come out with your own answers?
Yeah, there are some questions that could have, just maybe a phrase or a sentence or a word.
Analyze. Wow. Program manager is closing
So we are making you think. We are now making you think, with the information.
Project manager is closing. They want to ensure that.
Can I answer the first question? First scenario.
Yes, please. You can put all your answers together. When we are done, we're almost done. So just hold on. Put your answers together on your journal.
Together. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Take screenshots of this too, because PMI loves scenario-based questions.
Well done.
And please, the last question, then number 5.
Okay.
Wait, number three, please.
It's there. It's there.
Number 2, please.
Okay, I'm coming. Just give me. Okay, so if you feel you're done, please
Well,
feel free
please,
to.
number
Okay.
4, number 4, just remember that.
Okay. A team is transitioning to a new project management software.
What?
Okay, I believe we are done.
Number 5. Go,
The
move
5
on,
is
please.
there. Okay. Okay, okay. In the next 3 minutes, I will show us our answers, but please put your answers in there.
Answer the
Thank you.
impact and escalated. Okay, let me pull my answer. Oh my God.
Two more minutes.
Oh my God. Oh, C, B, B, 6, B, 4, C, 8, B, 9, B, 10.
One more minute. Okay. Okay, so please, I'll give you some time to put in your answers in the chat area. Thank you. Okay, so let me scroll down to the answers. Please tick yourself. Tick yourself. Tick yourself. Let's see how much of the information you retained. Who got everything? Who got everything?
No, just come to the answer, please. When part one, I'm very fine. Please.
Okay.
Scroll up, yeah.
Please tick yourself.
C, 8B, 9B, and C. As for now, I only missed one, which is number one. I took something like Vitra because of the collaborative issue. You know, instead of the self-learning, because looking at that, based on the collaborative issue, the professor you can have some feedback to amend the training. This why, because I was looking at the two options, looking at self, because of technology, it can be more burden, but the collaborative is more, the mindset of PMP is more than this why. But I got I got 9 or 10.
You tried very well.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
8. I got
Okay,
8.
that's great.
Yeah.
So let's tick our scenario based.
Problem solving, collaborative, and problem solving.
Please make sure you tick yourself. That's how to reinforce learning.
Post evaluation. Pick up. Assessment. Impact.
Okay.
Can you go
Wait,
back
let
to
me
question
see.
one
Let
to
me see the
five?
Python review. But what you say, it is a blocker because it has completely blocked the progress. Yes.
Can
Categorize
you
the
go back to
blocker.
question 1 to 5?
First
Sorry?
categorize the blocker.
Can you go back to question 1 to 5?
Okay.
Just want to check something.
Yeah.
Because number 5 said, what is the cause of the issue?
Okay.
It did not say.
An
Just
issue
can
has
you, can
been
you slow down so
identified that impacts the creative. Just a moment. Impacts the project by resolving it requires a project. It's like exceeds the project manager's authority level based on the guidelines for management. What's the appropriate cost of action? Which we said the cost of action is to escalate. Escalate.
Yeah, it's escalate. Yeah, I even know
Yes.
what I got. It's escalation I got from number 5. Yeah, you have to escalate it because it's looking at here that according to the training and because this technical
It's
issue,
beyond.
the
Yeah.
number 5, yeah, it's beyond it. Just go to number 5. Let me see. They're reading the text, the scenario.
Yeah. So again, I have a question, if you don't mind.
No problem.
Yeah, in one of the practice sessions that I've had,
Yeah.
when issues happen, I was told the very first thing to be done is to capture in the issue log. So after then, every other thing can happen because you want to catch the lessons learned before you take any other action whatsoever. I'm referring to
What if
scenario
something
question
is so?
5.
What if
Scenario,
something is so urgent? Do you
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
Yeah.
If it's urgent, documentation
Capturing
is the
in
first thing, then
no.
escalate. Because I've
Let me
tried it
see
and
that.
I missed
Let me see
the
the answer.
question
Please scroll
several
down.
times.
Please scroll
I
down. Let
missed
me
the
see the answer
questions.
for part 2. Okay. Okay. Technical consult. This is
The
peering
thing
and monitoring.
is, it's beyond the project manager.
Definitely,
Do you
definitely, yeah,
understand? So
yeah.
that's just what you should just note.
So my question is, when we say escalate, is there any tool you're looking at there? Does this come with a change request, or it's just verbally
No
approach this project
reporting. No,
sponsor?
not verbal. Oh. If
Okay,
something is so
so that's one.
important, it has to
Okay,
be
be
written down. It's
documented.
in
Okay,
yes,
okay,
formal
okay,
written down,
okay,
not
Sorry.
a
okay.
verbal
Thanks a lot.
discussion.
So
No.
which
Thank you.
comes to next question. I think the answer, well, the question is not that, how can I put it? Doesn't tell us whether we on an agile or predictive project method.
Which question are you looking at?
The one we just did
I think scenario 5.
discuss now. Yes.
Yeah,
Because if
just go to
it's something that the project manager cannot resolve by themselves, if it's in an agile scenario, first thing that we need to do is to consult with the project team before escalating.
So you have a point, yeah.
Sure.
You have a point. Okay, so let me go back into the slide to wrap up.
Yeah. Please excuse me now.
Well,
I'm just
doctor.
asking where you said about consensus technique. Consensus because I responded like collaborative solving because we want to get collaborative problem solving. I think we can consider that as a consensus technique because we want to get a winner option, from all of the parties. So
from everybody.
where in they're going to do the planning and do some root cause analysis and to find out whatsoever way to get to that.
Yeah. Okay, we all did well. I'm looking at the chat area.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of us did
So
well.
for the scenario 5, madam, can I say something?
Please feel free.
So yeah, I mean, I know my colleague, one of the participants here, mentioned it wasn't specified whether it was agile or predictive. Do you still talk about budget under agile? Because I think it's set upfront. You can't change that. It's pay or take or something like that. Because you release the money incrementally anyway.
Yes, not
Yeah.
in bulk.
Not in bulk, yeah. So that suggests probably this is referring to predictive. I may be wrong. I'm just looking at in case I come across such question. Is it a good assumption?
Yes, it's a good assumption. Someone says they are a late comer. What time did you come in? just 6 minutes ago. No, you get the replay. Sorry, Daniel. So the late cover is confused. Okay, so I think we'll call it an evening. Thank you so much for participating. If you need support with anything, WhatsApp only, please feel free to leave it there. Would also send the materials to you. And please do connect on LinkedIn. Let's extend the conversation. Thank you.
So when is the
thank you
next
for
when is the next meeting,
the
Doctor?
it will be communicated to you.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I see
Hello.
Keo
Thanks again,
Mamo.
Doctor.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hi, Doc. Sorry, before you go, quick one.
Yeah.
Today was literally the first time that I received this email, right? So I then just wanted to check, where do I register to actually be getting access to the training?
Okay. The admin is on the call, so he will tell you right now. Please
Hello,
go
That's
ahead
fine. Thank you.
and let her know. All
Yeah,
right.
Dr. Mimi here.
Okay.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. So regarding where to connect to get regular reminders and the links, we will do well to keep on sending you emails. And we are also on the move to create a new WhatsApp group. We have existing WhatsApp group where other candidates keep on, engaging there beyond the sessions. But looking at the timetable, we meet every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So the next session is coming up now on Tuesday. So watch out. We will receive the details on email. But beyond that, we'll also share the link of the new WhatsApp group because the current one is saturated. So that you join the new WhatsApp group and engaged from there. So thanks again, everyone, for joining.
Just a
Doctor.
Just a question. Just a question. If for whatever reason I couldn't join the Tuesday session, the fact that I'm a member in the group, will I get a recording for that session that I didn't log in?
Yes. So we'll also share with you because the recording is on our page and you can even access recordings for previous sessions. So when we complete the session, we do well in downloading, editing, and we upload it on the YouTube channel. So we also share that link both on those who are already on WhatsApp, but also on email for those who are not yet on WhatsApp. Yeah, and based on also the openness of the lecturer, we'll see how we can also add the presentation as well, the deck. All right.
Thanks, Mimi.
Thank you. Thanks,
Another
everyone.
thing, I received your email 20 minutes after 7 South African time. So then I dialed in, I think it was 20 minutes before 8. So which was like, 20 minutes apart. So I'm not sure of our time differences.
Oh, don't worry.
But
Technically,
my thinking is because I'm using my work email address, so I knock off around 5 o'clock. So tonight I knocked off a bit late. So was it not for me logging off late? I was gonna miss the invite. So I'm not sure if you can maybe send an invite
we'll correct that.
a day before.
No, yeah, we'll correct that. Actually, the one coordinating is Nelson, my colleague Nelson Garissa. So what we do normally is that he will send the registration link for the 2 sessions next week. So you'll probably get it by Monday. And when you register the day before and 1 hour before, you even receive automatic reminders. And I also do well to send the email that you also receive, to make sure for those who forget and all that. So don't worry.
Thank
we'll do our best for you not to miss it. Yeah, but if anything, you can still get back on the email that sent to you to have more details. And yeah, in case we miss out anything, we'll share the details with you. All right, so I guess, it's time for us to say bye. But before leaving, I want to say thanks again to Doctor for this excellent delivery. I'm sure other participants are sharing the same sentiment with me. We've not seen the 2 hours passing. So, Doctor, thanks again, and we'll be glad to have you again the upcoming sessions.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for the opportunity. Yes.
Thank you. And all the
right.
best for those writing tomorrow and before
Tomorrow,
Tuesday.
and
All the
yes.
best. We are waiting for the
Before
good news.
before the 8th of July.
Yeah,
All right.
all the best. We are waiting for the good news, actually. All right, so have a
right,
wonderful
goodbye.
evening and bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yes, one.
Thank you so very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye. What's the name of the YouTube channel?